Josh.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey man, how you doing?
Doing good.
Sorry I missed you earlier there. I was out doing yard work and completely missed my alert that I had set for the interview.
Oh, absolutely no problem. I was doing stuff around here too, right when you got a hold of me, so I had to set everything back up. But I am glad I'm able to sit down with you here today to discuss everything that's going on with Intronaut.
Cool. Me too.
Yeah. So first things first, of course, your new album, The Direction of Last Things, which I graciously got from Centurty Media, is an amazing album. I just love it all the way through. I can tell that you guys definitely put a lot of hard work and dedication into the album.
Thanks.
So what was the process behind the album?
It was a little, it's kind of the same as it always is, really, where, one of us will bring, a kind of a skeleton of a song, usually me, or Dave, kind of demo out a song at home and then present it to the band. And then it's kind of as you're showing it to everybody and everybody's learning it, during that process, everybody kind of ends up adding their little twist on it, and their little, interpretation of certain parts. And, that's kind of when it really comes to life. And then I guess the thing that was different this time around is that we didn't spend a whole lot of time in the studio actually recording it. Instead, we just kind of rehearsed a whole lot leading up to the recording dates, and then spent only 4 days in the studio just tracking everything mostly live, minus a few overdubs, and then of course vocals, were done on a different day, and then sent it off to mix. So we didn't really spend that much time actually in a recording studio this time around, which was really nice. It kind of made everything a little bit more urgent, and it sounds like us playing on the record too, as opposed to when you kind of try to get too meticulous and too comfortable with trying to get a part just right, when at the end of the day we can really bang out these songs in just a matter of 2 or 3 takes, and they're album ready at that point. So I guess that was a little different. And then we sent it off to Devin Townsend to mix, and he just polished the turd that we gave him.
Well, that's awesome to hear. It's amazing to me with how clean and polished the album sounds that it only took roughly 4 days of recording, of course, minusing overdubbing and vocals, being able to polish down the parts as much as you have, considering it's a very technical album as well.
Yeah, that's, I guess that's something that's always been there. I think all of our records are somewhat technical. But that just, that's just a result of rehearsing as a band live together, a bunch before going into the studio. Because obviously at some point we have to play those songs live, so it's not like we're playing things that are outside of our wheelhouse or whatever. It was just a matter of getting them tight before we went into the studio.
And that is definitely a very admirable way to go about it, because to me it proves that you don't need to spend a month in the studio or however long it takes for some people to get it done. It could take less than the week as long as you know your parts and ship it off to the right people.
Yeah, and again, you just end up sounding like a real band, I think, on our last couple records, we really tried to, give ourselves, just all the time in the world to record, thinking that it would result in, a better sounding record. But, when you're doing, drums in one studio, guitars in another, vocals in another, mixing somewhere else, it just doesn't end up sounding like a real band, or it didn't for us. And, we're also not a band that needs to sound unbelievably perfect. We want to sound believably perfect, which we can achieve just by setting up and playing.
Oh, very much so. And that's one thing I do love about the album, is the fact that it does sound so solid. It does sound so much like Intronaut. It took this many albums, but just getting to this point in your career, it absolutely sounds like Intronaut.
Sure. Yeah. I agree.
So, with the writing process for the album, was there any ideas that had been lingering around for a while, or was everything just written for just before you went into the studio?
Yeah, I think this is all stuff that we had written between the last album and this. I don't think there was anything from an earlier time. But that being said, the music was all written over the course of at least a year. In between tours and all that. At least the demos. The rough ideas for these songs. So it takes them a while to get fleshed out, but yeah, they were all written after our last record.
Oh, very cool. Now, was there anything else also in the writing process that might show up on a future album, or was everything that's written for the album on the album?
Everything that was like, every song that was completed was is on the record. I mean, there were like other ideas thrown out here and there, but that didn't quite make the cut, that I don't know if they will make it onto an Intronaut record or not. But yeah, I mean, this is all we recorded this time around, so that's all there's going to be for now.
Oh, very cool. Because that's another thing I gotta say about the album, is it does feel very complete from start to finish. I mean, at least to me, it didn't feel like there was anything that needed to be said left in the album, because it feels like everything has been covered for where you guys are in your career.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's just something that happens naturally, I guess, yeah.
Oh, sure. And of course, coming up this fall, you guys are going to be on an amazing package deal for a North American tour with Between the Buried and Me, Enslaved, and Native Construct. How did this tour come about?
Well, I mean, it's Between the Buried and Me's tour, and they sent us an offer, and we said, hell yeah, let's do it. We toured, and they're an incredible band, and just really just wonderful people to tour with. So it's kind of a no-brainer for us. I mean, and then their tour was happening right when our album was set to come out. Plus, Enslaved is one of my favorite bands. I mean, going back to the '90s, and so it's just kind of a no-brainer, man. I mean, it's going to be a good time, I think. And Native Construct are a really talented band that I'm looking forward to see play, and yeah, just can't wait.
Yeah, same here. That's going to be coming to the Skyway Theater in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which I will happily be there and covering the show. It's just all 4 bands on the bill. I just cannot wait to see all of that happening in one night.
Yeah, for sure.
So, have you guys decided which songs are going to be a part of the set list for this upcoming tour?
We have.
Is it mainly going to be focusing on the new album, or are you going to be touching a little bit of everything, or how's that going to be going about?
Yeah, it is mainly going to be focusing on the new record. We've played all of our other songs so many times at this point that we're really excited to just play a bunch of new stuff on those shows, especially because our set's going to be, it's like a support set, so, it's like 30 minutes probably. So we just want to get up and just rock some new songs and have some fun,
Oh, absolutely. I cannot wait to hear the new songs live. I'm just imagining it in my head how it's going to be turning out live, and I think it's really going to come across very well. Mm-hmm. So is there any plans in 2016 yet as far as touring or anything like that?
Yeah, we're working on some stuff, but nothing that I can really announce just yet. But we're going to go out and headline and probably hit Europe too, and then I'm sure more stuff will come up too. It always does. You always think you know what's going to happen, and then or you think you know what your schedule is going to be for the next 6 months, and then a week later is completely different. So yeah, lots of stuff, man. There's going to be a lot of touring on this record.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, of course I'm looking forward to the upcoming Between the Buried and Me tour, but anytime that you guys will be coming to Minnesota, I will happily be there.
Cool, yeah. I think we should be there in the spring sometime, I think.
Very cool. Considering how much you guys have been working on the new album this year, have you had time to check out any other 2015 releases so far, as far as music?
Yeah, lots of stuff.
Do you have any favorites so far?
You know what? Let's just look through my Spotify real quick, because I'm always bad at remembering what I'm listening to.
Oh, sure.
But I can just go through my little Spotify playlist here and see what I have been listening to. The new Battles record I just started listening to. I think it just came out.
Oh, very nice.
I don't know if that's really metal.
Oh, it can be any style of music, really.
Yeah, sure. Band Dungeon, I think they're Norwegian or Swedish. Their new record is really good. I actually really like the new Soilwork record. I haven't even listened to them since one of their since their first couple records. But I just came across that one and it was really good.
Yeah, that's a very solid album.
The Ghost record I thought was good. I didn't really care. I loved their first record. Didn't really care for the second. But this new one I think is really good.
Oh, very much so.
It didn't come out this year, I don't think. But that last Opeth record, Pale Communion, I don't even know.
Yeah.
That might 2013, I don't know, but I just never listened to it. They're one of my favorite bands forever, and I just kind of fell off keeping tabs on what they were doing, but that's a really good record.
Oh, very much so.
The newest Pyramids record I really liked. I listened to that a lot. Primitive Man is really good. Borin and Club of Gore. I don't know if that came out this year. The newest Yaga Yazist record was really good. I went and saw them play a few months ago.
Oh, very nice.
That Deaf Heaven record that's coming out.
Oh yeah, that actually drops today.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's really good. Kendrick Lamar, that one's really good. I can't wait to hear the rest of the Baroness record.
Oh, me too. I love the first single that they released. December is going to be too long of a wait for me to really enjoy it.
Is that when it comes out?
Yeah, mid-December.
Wow. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know what else. I'm sure there's other stuff that I'm just forgetting about. It's been a long year.
Oh, sure. But yeah, that's a very cool collection of music that you're currently listening to.
Yeah, I mean, there's other stuff. It's just, I mean, I kind of go back to a lot of, like, older stuff a lot, too. As far as newer stuff, that's, like, sort of what's sticking out.
Oh, sure. And it's great to see that you are keeping up with music, whether it's listening to older albums or brand new stuff, because I know some musicians don't want to listen to music when they're not working on their own stuff, and then some of them just try to listen to as much as possible. But it's good to see that you're still listening to music, and it's good to be inspired even if it doesn't come through in your own writing.
Yeah, I mean, I go through phases too, you know, where I don't like listen to music as much. You know, I work more or less alone in my, you know, when I'm not on tour. So I kind of have to occupy my mind with like either podcasts or music. And sometimes like after I've listened to like 8 albums a day for like a month, I kind of just like have to take a break, you know. It's just like I just don't want to hear anything. But yeah, it's good, you know, it's good to listen to stuff and discover new music all the time, you know, because that'll keep you inspired.
Oh, very much so.
Or anything, really. I mean, I can get inspired by, you know, just like any art or movies or TV or whatever, you know?
Yeah, just life in general can be an inspiration.
Yeah.
So just leaning to things that might not necessarily have to contribute to Deaf Heaven, is there any other projects that you're working on or anything like that outside of Intronaut?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, what did that have to do with Deaf Heaven? Sorry, I'm just like...
No, not Deaf Heaven. Not Deaf Heaven, but I was just wondering, outside of Intronaut, if there was any other projects that you're working on, or is it just working on Intronaut?
Yeah, I mean, I am kind of working on a record right now. It's actually like half recorded. I'm just trying to find the time to finish it. I'm hoping to finish it before we leave tour. Kind of just a collection of music that I've been working on for like the last year or two. That's kind of, I don't really know how to describe it. I mean, it's definitely not like Intronaut, probably a lot slower and kind of doomier for the most part. So, I don't know, I'm hoping to finish that by the end of the year and then see about putting it out somehow. As far as I go, that's the only musical project I have going on besides Intronaut at the moment. But you know, everybody's keeping busy with other stuff all the time, you know. Joe and the live version of the new Mestis stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And Danny has his band Murder Construct, and then also he's working on a new project with some members of some pretty legendary metal and grindcore bands that I don't know if it's been announced, so I don't know if I can talk about it, but he's working on a pretty killer record at the moment. But yeah, we're always like doing music, all of us, all the time.
Oh, very cool. It's good to see that you guys are not just focusing all of your energy just on the Intronaut, so Intronaut can still stay fresh, and you have other interests musically as well to show off all the sides of your creativity.
Yeah, that's exactly it, man. I mean, especially for me, you know, and I was working on this record that I'm doing now, like, at the same time that I was, like, writing and demoing songs for Intronaut. And I think it really contributed to, like, you know, how awesome these Intronaut songs came out, because it really, like, helped me, like, channel, you know, all of my urges to do, like, more, like, slow and, you know, kind of, like, cinematic sounding music into this other project that, like, was very, like, not metal, and then kind of just going harder with Intronaut, you know. And, I you know, it really worked out great for both records, I think, you know, so, and again, like you said, it keeps everything fresh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Spend 1 month on one thing, 1 month on another, and, you know, variety is the spice of life.
Yeah, and you never want to get bored of something, especially before you even release it, too, because if you put that much time and effort into it, it feels like it's almost for nothing. When you get so completely bored of it, you can't even enjoy what you've created.
That's a good point, too, because, we did spend so little time in the studio and so little obsessing over these songs that usually at this point I'm completely sick of our new record, like, before it comes out, but I can actually, I can throw it on here and there and, like, not be tired of it.
Oh, that's definitely great to hear. And with that, with the new album, are all of the songs going to be available to play live, or are you just going to be picking and choosing what songs are going to be played from this album?
You mean, like, can we play all of them? Is that what you mean?
Well, I mean, like, I know with some albums, like, some songs remain, like, B-sides, and then some of them, like, the entire album will be played in its entirety. I mean, is there, like, any songs that you know are going to be, like, staples in the future, or anything like that?
Well, that will probably, that's sort of how it is with every record. You have a couple songs that sort of stick and stay in the set, forever. But, all these songs, I think we'll be playing all these songs at some point. I mean, there's really, in our history, of 5 albums and 2 EPs, there's only, like, 2 songs that we've never played live, out of, like, 50-something songs, So, we typically plan on playing every song live. And I think all these songs on this record, I mean, there's only 7 songs, so I have a feeling they'll all get played throughout this touring cycle.
Well, I'm glad to hear that as well, because I'm a big fan of being able to hear any song off an album live, because otherwise, to me, it just feels like those songs are filler if you never get the chance to experience those songs live.
Exactly. And that's why we've never really done an album, with, like, 13 songs and whatnot, because once you do that, then it's like, there's obviously going to be songs that just never even see a live performance.
Yeah, very much so. And again, just like stressing how great, in my opinion, the new album is. Of course, with the half-hour set for the Between the Buried and Me tour, obviously the whole album can't be played, but it'll be great to experience those songs live, and then whatever touring that you do get to do in 2016, it'll be great to experience everything that will be on the new album.
Exactly, yeah.
So just going back a little bit to your other project, is that completely you writing the album, or is there anyone else that's going to be contributing to that album?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like it's me sort of writing all of the basic ideas, but I collaborated with some people on a couple of the songs so far. And there's other people playing on it, definitely on every song. But there's just, nothing I can really announce at this point, and it'll be an interesting record for people to digest once it comes out. I can say that. But yeah, like every song was kind of like done as its own thing, and like with a different cast of characters on it. Some are just me, but most of them have other people on them as well.
Oh, very cool. I'll definitely be looking forward to that when it does get an eventual release. Just to wrap things up here, thank you once again for taking the time out of your schedule to do this interview, and it's an honor to be able to help promote the new album, The Direction of Last Things, coming soon through Centurty Media, and of course your upcoming Between the Buried and Me tour. Is there anything else that you'd like to bring up that I haven't brought up yet?
No, record comes out November 13th, and I hope everyone goes and checks it out.